we want to bring more manufacturing back here to North America. I don't think anyone here is going to disagree with me. And the only way I see that happening is through the power of partnership. Partnership like Resolute, Precision Manufacturing here, and Vargus as well. Guys, we were talking about this last night, and I was like, we have to get this on camera. So, Brad, what were we talking about at dinner?
So I was talking about how guys like myself in manufacturing, engineering type roles, we have enough stress with just troubleshooting and keeping up with the timelines and quoting and all of that. And a guy can only know so much and have so much experience. And what makes those guys great and what separates them is having the partnerships and having guys that you can lean on and go to when you're just frustrated or you have a constant problem with a process or a certain material. You don't have to know everything. You just have to rely on your tooling guys and reach out to them and build those relationships. And those are the guys that ultimately save the day and make or break your future with that part or, a customer. And that's all just, the background of reality. So,
yeah. And that's something that I completely agree with, because as I've been on the manufacturing, engineering, machining side, I've also been on the distributor, maybe not the supplier rep side like you are, Josh, where you also really appreciate companies that have this mindset. So I completely agree. But how do you find it, Josh? Do you agree with that?
I agree. I think it's good that to have customers that are looking for the latest innovation. You've got really expensive equipment, so you want to make the most out of the time that you're working on it. Get the most efficient tooling to get a better process. And I don't think that's how we even first met. We have a very broad offering in Vargus because it seems like you never do have a simple, straightforward application. It's either, I believe, in one case, hanging out far too far, causing a lot of chatter issues, and we got to find a way to cut down on the cycle time that's caused by that. Maybe you have less than adequate setup or fixturing or the part or the material.
Yeah, and that's something I think really, and I'm curious to get your thoughts on it as well, guys, is something that I think is going on out there for a lot of people that aren't like yourself, Brad, who see the benefit of it. They might be a little bit scared. Oh my God, can I really trust this guy? What if he lets me down? So what helps you push through some of that? Is that there for you at all? Is it not a consideration anymore?
So, I mean, I'm fortunate. I've got, anywhere from 2 to 12 years with different reps. So I've built that trust. It might be a little scary at first, like, man, I've never ran parameters like that before. We've never, ran this type of tool or this type of process. And you just have to, at some point, trust and just use their experience and just see what happens. Sometimes it's a little scary, like, man, I never thought I'd run this kind of service footage on this tool or take this kind of depth of cut or this feed rate, stuff like that. But that's why there's, test tools, and that's why there's, trial and error. And it's not necessarily going to work the first time, but you just have to use that experience and that background. And sometimes you're using more of the catalog than you'd like to, because of materials or that type of inadequate setup. But they're there for you and support you, and a great thing. So.
Yeah. So what's it been like for you on the supplier side of things, Josh, working with someone like Brad? First of all, is this a common mindset that you run into out there?
You get quite a bit, especially with some of the newer, younger engineers who are actively looking for the latest innovations to find products that can really change the way things are done.
So that's a good thing then. I'm excited about that. I'm glad to hear that it's changing and that there's more young people out there that are willing to trust it. So what's the benefit for you being able to work with someone like Brad here at Resolute?
Well, we get great opportunities to find a problem that we can attack and make a change, make a big difference and a good improvement. We get great feedback and good data, which we can use for R&D department for continuous innovation and improvement.
So what are some of the examples here for Resolute? I mean, we've got a couple videos out there with some very specific examples. So if you haven't seen those yet, you can go find those on MTDCNC. But what are some examples right now in this that we can share?
So we're heavy in threading at this company. I've never threaded, so many parts until I started here about 3 years ago. And so it's something that I didn't have a whole lot of experience with. It was just, just status quo, slow, like fairly gentle depth of cut, mild parameters. And working with Josh and all the guys at Vargus, they've, you know, showcased that this new technology with the Mach TT and with the ST cut and stuff like that, that there is different ways to attack a thread than just like the status quo. And that kind of technology and this kind of advancements with cutting tools, we're getting to a point where the cutting tools are going to start pushing the machine tools to get better and faster. And that's how we're going to compete as a country. But we have to embrace that technology and use it to our advantage, because yeah, that is the only way we're going to start seeing the reshoring and all of the product return to the States or to North America. So
Yeah, I mean, obviously the U.S. is doing amazing work with all the investments over the last year, but I would love to see more in North America. The GDP between Canada and the U.S. is always very closely tied. We're sitting at 11%-ish right now. I want to see 22 to 25. So we need a lot more companies like Resolute, like a lot more people like Brad and Josh out there in the world doing the hard work. Did he forget any good examples, Josh? I mean, you're on the other side of this.
I think he's covering a lot of it, and we have engineers across the country doing the same thing. And an important part that Brad brought up, a point that he brought up, is that the threading cycle tends to be one of the longest cycles on your part. So anything that can be done there can help out a lot.
They need the Mach TT, because that other video that they're going to want to go see after they listen to us here, it's got the threading down to like 6 seconds on OD for a decent sized thread. So that's really cool. Well, thank you both for all of this. Keep up the awesome work here with Resolute and with Vargus. We need more of you here in North America.